So that's information. Because as we be with our body usually, I was going to say always, but that's a big word to say. So our body typically has some sort of information to communicate to us. And what is it that we are doing with that information? Are we listening to it? Are we noticing it? Are we noticing it, then listening to it? Are we acknowledging it? By noticing that it's there is a type of acknowledgement. Once we acknowledge it, by noticing it, what might we do next? And I'm finding that one of the invitations for the work that feels aligned for me in this lifetime, in this brain, in this body, in this lived experience that I've accumulated up to this moment in time, the accumulated me, is to help us as humans reclaim some of these instinctive processes that acknowledge our body's experience. So the one that this show was originally inspired by, and is the one that continues to feel like is the primary draw of my support, is how to sound our body. Now, I don't mean like what I'm doing right now with words. I don't mean language. My whole body just got a whole shimmer of electricity and trickles as I said that. I don't mean with words and I don't mean with language. Yes, language is an ancient form of being with ourselves and expressing ourselves and with each other. And before language, think of yourself as a baby. Think of yourself as an infant. Before language, there is sound. Sound that is not language. And there's a lot of beautiful exploration happening and has been happening for a while on the research of sound. Humming, the vowels, the sounds, ah, ooh, right? These sounds, these vibrations in our body are extremely like the nervous system attunement into the vagus nerve is real. And we're aware of this. Now there's a lot of information that's showing this. And my work is going to continue to be an evidence exploration on the mechanisms of the human organism, the mechanisms of the Homo sapien, the mechanisms of the human mammal that support us to feel free in our body. We all have an emotional experience. We all have emotional experiences. The human experience is not void of emotion, and the energy that the body generates, the chemical flood that occurs, which is energy that occurs relative to emotional experiences. We all have these. They're real. They're unavoidable. Developing a relationship with these emotional energies, with these emotional experiences that empowers us to feel an agency of our mind, of our body, and through that to feel liberated, to feel free, to feel light. This is part of the work. This is part of what sounding does. It is a mechanism to move emotional energy through the body. So hear this, let it land with you. What does that mean? Rewinding to infancy, the sounds that a baby makes, the sounds that we all made as babies, cries, an expression of wanting physical touch, physical affection, comfort, love. We interpret this quality attention as love. We interpret this mirrored emotional response from caregiver as safety, as trust in ourselves, as the impulse that I feel as an infant creates an expression that is drawing on a relational dynamic to be met. That validates my own experience. I continue to care for myself as I'm being cared for those around me. Other sounds that babies make, right? They're not words, they're sounds. Young children. I have a 6-year-old. He continues to make an assortment of sounds that are so cool and so varied. And each one of them is a vibrational, true expression of his body's experience. It's systematically and yet not coming from a place of cognitive systems thinking, but from a place of impulsive, primal organism expression that attunes itself ongoingly, naturally, automatically. It just happens. And for so many reasons that I'm not going to dive into, but that somehow in the accumulated information of my explorations and of my work over time will continue to create this body of work that is the work that I do, that is a book that I feel at some point will be published, essays, articles, posts, etc. We have untrained, we have uninhabited the human body. One of the ways that we reclaim the relationship with our body, the relationship with our body that knows how to create freedom in itself. Now, there are so many patterns that have gotten in the way for many of us that prevent us from actually being in right relationship with our human natural experience. And I say this with deep love and deep compassion and deep understanding. The nervous system does what it does to survive, and the patterns of the psyche that were developed in infancy, in childhood, to maintain the organism's survival are real and valid and true. And many of these false safety, they're safety because the nervous system thinks that they must exist in order to keep itself alive, which is the crazy thing and how attachment systems work when we are young, that we will abandon the natural, impulsive, instinctive knowingness of the body in order to maintain connection with those whom we are reliant on for our survival. And so the body itself becomes a confused relationship. So this is a multifold process to come back into right whole relationship with the body's knowing about how to attune itself. So again, sounding as a reclamation of one of the natural mechanisms for the body to meet itself where it's at, to meet the emotional energy where it's at, to meet the nervous system's truth where it's at, and to move any of those pieces that we've accumulated. All of us have. There's no human on this planet, there's no adult on this planet who hasn't experienced a stressor in life that hasn't been met completely. That's my argument. That may not be completely true, but my guess that I feel is r- really quite reliable is that there are few humans in this world, few adult humans in this world, who have cleansed their body completely and entirely of all of the the stressors that have caused experiences in our body that we haven't fully actually moved through us. And I say that to not be defeatist or to not create a feeling of discouragement or futility. We can all go into our body. No matter what our lived experience has been, granted, there can be much more and much more deeper and denser layers of information to move through for some of us than others. And all of it is possible. All of it is movable with the right care, with the right tools, with the right curiosity. And when I use the word right, I don't mean right in the spectrum of right and wrong. This is not a judgmental perspective. There's no judgment here. Judgment doesn't heal. Non-judgment, love heals. And my ethos, personally, professionally, in every aspect of the way that I want to be in presence with myself and the world, is non-judgment. It's compassion. It's grace. It's deep understanding and respect for what is. Even when there's anger for things that are happening, the anger itself and holding on to that doesn't actually create transformation. It's the love, it's the compassion, it's the grace. Those are the energies that actually create change in our own body and in the societal, cultural energy at large. So every part of each one of our lived experiences that has held on to these different layers of pain, of disconnection, of fragmentation, all of it can be moved. It just takes time. It takes curiosity. It takes desire, will, and patience. All possible. Woo! I've had some massive expressions this week. Really, really, really deep. Like, I believe that when we're on a path of curiosity and getting to know oneself, that there's this kind of like diagonal, steady growth trajectory. Generally, it can have these little wiggles and whatnot. This week for me, I had a couple that just went like boom. They were like full up levels. Two of them, really. I'm trying to remember if they happened the same day. No, they were back-to-back days. Yeah. Anyway. Sound is a huge part of that. My work is to help people reclaim their body, reclaim the aliveness that is intrinsic to each one of us as Homo sapiens, as human organisms, as human mammals. Our body has the potential to feel weightless. Our body has the potential to feel alive in a way that is almost surreal. And the magic of sound as a way to create a skill set, to create a practice, to create a reconnection back to the original native humanness of our autonomic nervous system, our body, to be able to feel and access that freedom. That's the work that I do. Sometimes we can access that place through a medicine journey. Some medicine sometimes can help us get out of the way of ourselves when our thinking mind, which culturally has been so it's been so much prioritized that we almost don't even understand at times that we're actually living from there because it's so normal. It's so familiar to us to be in this that we might not even recognize when we're making choices that are still from there, that are still from this ego perspective living. And so a medicine journey, whatever modality that is, can help us move past that thinking blockage and be able to feel our body and move information through us in a way that reminds us that we can have this relationship with our autonomic nervous system and that it can be safe in the right environment. It's extremely important for it to feel safe because otherwise it can still be kind of a little bit of like a shutdown experience. So having it feel safe to the nervous system, we can only access these things in our body when we are present. Present means being here in this current moment now. When we can be in the now, we can be with what is in our body. We can begin to move the information that organically arrives at the moment that is divine. There's no thinking about it, it just happens. So medicine journeys are beautiful for that. And my own personal transformation process and what I help people with and what I know I'm going to continue to help people with is being with our body in a longer duration period of time, like a medicine journey. So 2 minimum, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours where we dive into the body and recognize, move, conversational, yes, but we're getting into the body in a somatic way to empower oneself with a relationship with the body that may not be remembered, that may be so far back in in infancy, in childhood, that we actually don't remember what it feels like to be in relationship with this. So that's how I support, and I feel so humbled and so inspired. You can hear my voice, and it feels emotional for me because it feels so incredibly important. It feels like there is a new framework from which the human wishes to be alive in itself, and that understanding that the nature of the body can never be it can never be shut down so much so that it's not prevailing. The nature of the human body, the naturalness of the human body will always prevail. We can evolve as much as we want to with technology, with money, with whatever things feel like we're, getting ahead in life. And at the core of our existence, our human organismic way of existing will always be foundational to our ability to thrive or not. So this is a full shift in what actually it means to be successful as a human. It, what does it mean to be successful as a human? For me, it means for my body to feel free. It means for my body mind to feel coherent. That's freedom. It's inner freedom. It's only accessed through our relationship with ourselves. And everything becomes better. Everything feels better from that place. The resilience is extraordinary and can't be topped by anything else. There are places where we can all go to in our ego experiences of life, and I've been there. It can feel like, we're on top of the world, right? And yet, they're ephemeral. So, building the relationship with the self is not the Band-Aid, it's the core. It's the core cure. It's the cure core. It's all of the things that make the external environment can do whatever it wants to do. And I'm still here, vibrating with wholeness. So I hope that was helpful in some way. I feel deeply grateful to be in this place of awareness and communication for you, for anyone who's taking this information in that might feel inspired by it, that might feel drawn to get to know yourself, be with yourself, make time for yourself in a different way, or more of some of the ways that you've already been exploring. I'm always here to be reached out to if you'd like to talk more. Sending you so much love and wishing you curiosity on this one day that we get to live. Till next time.